Welcome back
to another episode of
Gives and Takes.
Thanks for joining us again on, gosh, I can't believe it's already like the first week of November.
I know.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. How's everybody doing? I think maybe we just start with a question.
How's everyone feeling? Just please reflect on your current self, on your current week, what's been going on. What's been going on?
I also forgot to say that's Sabrina Harding.
Oh, and that's Ashley Tank.
All right. This week's been kind of a big week.
Mm-hmm. It's a big week.
I think for a lot of the world, a lot of our country and the US of A. And so if you've, felt that it was very heavy, if things have been very difficult, I hope that all of our listeners were able to find some time and find some peace and do some things that brought them joy or peace, and that everybody's doing okay. And this country, I think, is strong. I think our country is a very strong country. I think we will figure this out, I think is the best way to put it. We'll figure it out.
This out together. I know that a lot of people are having very big reactions to this because it is a huge thing that just happened in our country, and history was made this past week. And a lot of people are grieving. A lot of people are in pain, and just know that you're not alone. That was something for me when I was reaching out to my friends and my family. That was something that really helped me, was to know that we are in this together and we will rise above this. And I also listened to a masterclass yesterday, and there was a quote that I wrote down because I wanted to share it with everyone, and maybe we can kind of reflect on it a little bit. It's more of the woo-woo spiritual realm of things to think about life. But the quote is, "Don't let your external reality dictate how far you can go. Don't be a victim to your circumstances. Take your power back." Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really powerful. And this is not a time to, raise our hands up and fight in the way that I think a lot of people maybe are expecting. I think there's this expectancy of this, great explosion or this and that. And the thing is, this country doesn't have to be divided in a way in which it has. And so instead of raising your hands up to fight, which I don't think is the best way to go about it, and I think a lot of the rhetoric from a lot of people has been that, is to fight. And I think we've been hearing that for years and years and years. We have to fight this, and we have to this, and this wasn't true, and this wasn't. At the end of the day, this is our government system. This is the way that things work. We may not always agree with that, and we may want things to change, but we at the end of the day are the only ones who can change that. And so this is not a time to raise our hands up and fight one another. This is a time to roll up our sleeves and to get to work. This is a time to figure out and position ourselves in a way that as time progresses, we can come back together and have much more unity in a way and in a world that we have not yet seen. And I think a lot of people were really hoping to see that this time around. And it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. And I think people just need to understand that. We are resilient as a country, as a people. We care, majority, we care about one another. We resoundingly want what's best. I think that is the rhetoric of all Americans, is that we want what's best for people. I think most people do. And I think just finding a better way to communicate that and be more of a united States of America is really the goal here. And so I think over the next couple of years, just getting to a place where we can do that is going to be really key.
I love that. The United States of America. I love how you emphasize that. Have you seen the Netflix documentary Social Dilemma? It came out I want to say 3 or 4 years ago.
Netflix doc? I don't think I have.
So it was about social media and how essentially, like, I will sum up a like 2-hour video for you. So essentially it was saying that the more, like, Facebook was found to have pushed, like, basically videos that push hatred and argument and disagreeing, and it would push it on your feed. Even if you like scrolled past it, the next one would be exactly where you left off, so that you could keep watching it, or you'd be like sucked back in, because bad news spreads faster than good news, unfortunately.
For sure.
Because of fear, and that's, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because we have the gift of fear, but I think that it's been used as a weapon against humanity. And I really do believe that social media found that as a key. And so the divide that has been between these two parties, essentially, has been a greater divide because of the hate that they're pushing out, and the very carefully crafted and very carefully tailored social media strand that you're scrolling on to push these tailored videos to you, so that you can have a perspective, you can believe certain things, and that the divide continues to grow greater. So I do believe that we are going to heal together, and we are never going to heal by pointing fingers at each other. And I do believe that we have peace and harmony in our future, and I know that we can get there together, but we have to stop pointing fingers. I do think that that's a big thing.
I think so too. I think I think the whole concept of like divide and conquer, I think that there's a really big thing at play here. And one thing to keep in mind, and I don't want to sound, all conspiracy theorists, one thing to kind of keep in mind is our country is actually, it is the oldest, the oldest first world democracy in the world, as a, like, first world in terms of like having the strongest economy and being the largest. So the United States of America is the largest, oldest first world democracy, and we're approaching that 250-year mark. And I always find it very interesting when you think at history books, or you learn about things in school, things like that. Every great civilization has fallen at right around the 250-year mark.
Oh, really?
And yeah, every single one ever. And I'll say it here, I will be goddamned if we are another statistic. So we are going to do what we have to do to create unity once again, and love one another, and love your neighbor. And I think we've just got to go back to some of the principles here. I think we've got to get back to some of the love. I don't know what we need to start doing, if we got to start slipping each other mushrooms or what to find some commonality with one another. My God. But we have so much more that unites us and that connects us than we do that separates us.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for all people. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. Mm-hmm. And I think we all deserve the right to operate and move that way. And I think that we will get there.
We will.
We've come a long way, and I think we've got a lot of work to do. I think we've got a long way to go. Mm-hmm. I think that it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
And I hold hope in my heart for that. So
yeah. Success is inevitable if you believe that. So if we continue to strive for greatness and to strive for our best future, and just know that we're not giving up. It's not even an option for us. We're actually not going to give up as humans and believing in human rights. So we're just going to keep continuing that path and understanding that every single human deserves rights. So yeah.
That's right. Every living thing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all here. We're all here, and we can, yell at each other until we're blue in the face about why or how that is. But the only fact we know is that we are, and we're all here. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to fight and kill each other and try to put one over the other. I mean, come on. Yeah. It's just, it feels nonsensical. It feels ridiculous to me at this point.
Yeah.
Why don't we all do a giant big fucking kumbaya and recognize other people and other life forms. I'm even talking the animals now. I'm talking about our planet. I'm talking about just everything. Let's live in unity. Let's live and coexist. I think being able to coexist is a crucial part of any habitat, and this planet is a habitat.
Right.
It's an ecosystem. We can't have certain things out of balance, and I think we're on our way. I think however people are feeling is totally understandable.
Yeah. Feel your feels.
Yeah, feel your feels, but by Monday, so this episode will be out Thursday of next week. We're recording today on a Friday, the Friday of November 8th. Hopefully by this past Monday, when you guys are all listening to it, you've decided kind of where you want to be or how you want to position yourself, but give yourself the time to grieve or find moments of solace or peace, and then let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. Let's pick ourselves up. Let's push ourselves forward. Let's lift other people up. Let's continue to do all of the things that make people great people, and let's continue to share like light and love in this world, and recognize that the more of light and love that there is, the harder it is to put it out. So
yeah, that's so good.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Cheers to that.
Cheers. We needed this
peace.
one.
Cheers to peace.
Peace and love, man. It's just, it is what it is. But
we're bringing Friday energy to your Thursdays.
Yeah.
So we record on Fridays, and we decided that Fridays were our jam because we used to do like Mondays or Tuesdays, and it just felt like such a like, oh, we gotta do it, and then we gotta, but Fridays, the energy has shifted. We are here, and we want to be here. We're thriving.
We're ready for it.
We're ready for the weekend, and we're just bringing you that energy on a Thursday. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love recording on a Friday for sure.
Me too.
Especially since daylight savings time, just to take a little bit of a left turn here. It gets so much darker in Michigan, or in a lot of places that do everywhere that does daylight savings. It gets darker so much earlier. And I was telling Sabrina earlier, I got home from work, I sat down in the living room, and a lot of the lights were off in our living room. And there was just, I would have thought it was like 8 p.m. By the, it's like, okay, the end of a work day. I sit down. I wanted to wait to have a cocktail with you. Didn't want to be like asleep by the time you got here. And I was like, oh my God, it is only 5:20.
Unreal.
And it feels like it's like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. So I had to walk around my entire house, turned every single light on.
Yeah.
Had to put a little pep in my step.
It's like the pitchiest of all blacks.
Yeah.
The pitchiest.
The pitchiest. That's right. Also, for anybody that's watching on YouTube, I'm wearing like bright socks that I once purchased. I want to say I bought these socks. I feel like everybody has like a pair of those socks that you've just had for a really long time. Yeah. I bought these socks probably about 7 years ago when I thought that I was going to commit to running a fucking marathon. And every time I put them on, I just feel like such a fucking lie. I'm like,
could have been.
I'm like, I am such a liar. I bought these when I didn't know myself. I bought these when I was still figuring myself out, and I had I'm figuring myself out, and I thought, oh, hell yeah, I'll run a marathon. The audacity of my younger self, me, to think that I would ever. I'm just not a runner. I'm so sorry. Hey, I'll be the first person to slap somebody on the ass and be like, that is so cool that you do that.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. 26 miles or something insane?
Unreal.
26.2? That's nuts. You guys are bionicle people.
Amazing.
Just a different breed.
Yeah.
I love you. I will never be one of you.
I'm not doing that.
I will never be one of you.
I actually would like to. That might be a bucket list for me.
Wow.
Okay, but did you see the TikTok of the girl who ran the marathon who was drunk? That was all over my TikTok feed.
I did see that. She, I think she did that like right toward the end. So toward the end of a marathon, people are like stationed with like water or I think Prosecco. Yeah. And so like toward the end.
She got drunk. Okay.
And after, I mean, you got to think you're running for like however, I don't even know how long it takes you. I think it's like 4 or 5 hours.
Definitely somewhere like that.
Something like that. Because it's like, what, an 8-minute mile, but most of those runners do it in like 5 or 4.
8-minute mile? I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Do you think that that's fast?
I think that's so fast.
Okay, so people that run the marathon, Sabrina, are doing like 4 or 5 minute miles.
Not consistently.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I feel like this is a truth that I know. I've like seen people go on there. Maybe it's like 7 minutes, you know, whatever. But
that's ridiculous.
I'm so serious. These people they're monsters. They are well, like you're like gods or something. You're kind of just like a different breed.
Oh.
That's so cool that you want to do that though.
But I would have to average like I would love to do like a 14-minute mile the whole time. It would just take me like 3 times as long.
Can we do like some quick math here for a second? Can you get your calculator out? I have to know what 14 minutes times 26 would be. Because
oh gosh, I always click on the alarms. Do you ever do that?
I do. I've done that.
So what is it? 26 times 14?
Mm-hmm. 364 divided by... So it would take you 6 hours.
Oh! Like almost a full work day. And that's with no stops.
And that's with no stops.
I cannot.
You probably could. This is the thing, and I think 14 minutes, that seems realistic because maybe you've never done it. But right. I think once you were to, like, if you were actually to start training for it, I think those minutes would just start shaving off.
Melting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you could do it, and if you want to do it, I will make signs. Like, I will make all the snacks. I will be there with like drinks and like I will be so excited for you. I'll bring a pair of clean shorts just in case you shit yourself.
And I will.
Because so many people shit themselves.
Yeah, and they like shamelessly do it apparently. Like they're like, no shame, it's all good.
And they just keep going. Shit trickling down their legs. Bitches do this in shorts, dude. White shorts. I've seen it all. Ooh. And ooh. I thought that was something that, you know, I could do. And then I really just, I started running for it. This is not even a joke. I started training for it. And I think the most I ever ran was 6.5, maybe 7 miles. And
that's insane. That's a lot.
It was, but I wanted to, like, fully wanted to die. Yeah. Like, at mile 3, I was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. By, like, mile 3.5, I was just, there was almost, like, a euphoric sense.
I've always wanted to get there.
I got there at, like, about, like, 3 miles, and then everything after, like, around, like, 5, everything in my body hurt so badly. Yeah. That I wanted to hit like a new PR whatever. Yeah. And also I was running on the road. So cuz you're trying to get your legs used to running on like road.
That's hard on your knees.
And I had run so far away from my home that and we don't have Uber over here, you guys. That I was like, I have to fucking make it to like a local place. Because I need to, like, pass out basically wherever I am. So, basically, I ran from wherever to, like, I ended up, basically passing out in a McDonald's.
Oh, my gosh.
So that my family could come pick me up. Because there was no fucking... I couldn't make it home. No. Like, my legs... I threw up. I mean, it was just... I had that experience, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have to do more than 3 of that. Ooh. I think I'm going to pass. Yeah. Or I'll pass away. Yeah. And I don't want the latter. So, oof. But if you ever want to do it, I will fully support you.
Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, I used to run a 3 miles every other day with my dad during quarantine. Like, both of us got in, like, the best shape of our lives in quarantine, and I miss like that like bonding experience because it was something that we did together, rain or shine, and it was my favorite because I'd always be like, I call my dad Papa, and so I'm like, Papa, no, it's like raining, and he's like, and he calls me Beanie. He's like, Beanie, come on, you're not gonna melt. You're not made of sugar. So like we'd always run, and it was actually like the best when it was raining, surprisingly, because you almost just felt like you could do anything. You know, like you're just like totally conquering the day, even though it's literally raining on your parade and you do it anyways. It just was always the best feeling. So I do miss doing that, but 3 miles every other day, and we did that for months, like probably like 5 months in a row, every other day, rain or shine. And I don't think it ever got easier for me. Like, truthfully, I was in so much pain after the 3rd mile. I was always like slower than my dad too, which is kind of hilarious because, you know, he's an older guy, but yeah, he would always beat me, and I was just always in a lot of pain. But I guess if you have your mindset to, like, you know, getting to a certain spot 26 miles, then I'm sure you could do it. But I did not have my mind over matter at that point in time.
Yeah. That's awesome. I feel like quarantine was such an incredible okay, let me back up here. It was a really terrifying time, but it was so unprecedented. I'm going to use that word because, you know, that's just like the word or whatever, and I'm sure people have heard it to death. But it really was. But it was also one of the most like transformative, not only for like the planet, but I feel like for people in their lives.
Oh yeah.
The relationship, and a lot of senses this wasn't the case, where people couldn't see their family for certain reasons, and nursing home, you know, things like that. But in a lot of ways, families got closer, and you got like that time to spend that you maybe like wouldn't have otherwise done, which I thought was just kind of beautiful. Like I learned how to make sourdough bread.
That is a beautiful thing.
It was a beautiful thing, kind of a scary thing, if I may as well. Sourdough is an alive beast, and it is kind of terrifying.
Right.
Like feeding it in the mornings and like. You'd like, you know, poke it or shake it alive again, and then it's hungry for more. I don't know. It was a weird experience, but it was great. I haven't made a single loaf since. I've not gotten back into it, but
the gift of time that quarantine gave all of us. We all made banana bread that one, you know, that 1 week, and then we all watched what was it,
Tiger King.
Just like it just felt so like we were a community then.
Yeah,
you know?
We were all one.
We were.
That's the thing, and I don't want another plague, but if the world just wanted to shut down for a week and nobody got hurt, I'd love it again.
I would.
If Netflix, Hulu, and all of the big streaming services wanted to come out with a bunch of really good television, and then, there was like a big blackout or something across the world, and nobody could, maybe not a blackout because we want to watch TV. But there was a big something.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
And we all just got to do nothing for a week. I mean, that would just be, and we got to watch all those television shows, like good television.
Feels so good.
It would feel so good.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it as well. Well, hey, we've got a really fun and kind of crazy, a little kooky of an episode, I think, for this week.
Yes, we do.
Our theme that we went with this week was catfishing.
I'm so excited. Have you ever been catfished?
I've never been catfished. No.
Have you ever been a catfish?
No, I have never been a catfish either. Have you ever done either?
I guess maybe I'll just share a little bit of a weird Tinder date that I went on.
Let's do it.
I've only been on one Tinder date in my life, okay? And it was my first and my last. And I really don't want to sound judgmental in the slightest. He just wasn't for me, all right? Totally fine. I just don't think that he liked females, which was totally cool. Like, we could have been besties, but we... So, shout out to Justice, one of my BFFs. We go way back.
We love Justice.
We do. We're gonna have to send him this episode. But on that Tinder date, I went into the bathroom and I texted Justice, my friend, and I texted him all the descriptions of this guy that I was on. I was like, hey, on this date with, I was like, hey, his voice is higher than mine. His pants are tighter than mine. He is ordering this, and he said this, and he told me that he had a crush on his male professor, and what's your advice, because Justice is gay. And Justice replied, what's his number? I'd love to meet him. Like, I was like, actually, he sounds like he's for me.
He sounds kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was the only, and I don't want to say that I was catfish because I only saw his it's not like we had talked previously, like, what's your sexual orientation? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But leaving that date, I was like, that was a really fun meetup with a guy who I have no intention in being in a romantic relationship with, but it was really cool to meet you. Like, it was very, yeah, and so that was the only time that I can say anything in that realm of catfishing, but, yeah, what about you?
I've never had anything like that. My question, though, was he potentially bi? Like, did you ever figure out what he was? Was he bi, perhaps?
No. Well, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we don't know. The Justice thing is sending me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, honey, that's for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I think a lizard would be attracted to you. So he probably just saw his shot and his chance to shoot, and he did. So he's like, you know what? For her, I think I could make it work. I think she could look past this.
She does have a deeper voice than me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You could turn someone. Yeah. So I have also only been, I think, on 2 Tinder dates in my entire life. They're both in college. I honestly don't really remember them because I was like so nervous. I got really hammered before I went and met up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just left and went straight to a bar with my friends after.
Mm-hmm.
Not great experiences. The people were, again, to your point, they're just not for me. They were just very awkward and this and that. I will say, though, that, and I apologize to my sweet boyfriend now, but I am going to share the story. He does know this. When I got my first job out of college, and I was living in Detroit, I was living with a friend of mine, another Becca, and she and I, like, we would cook, but we really just loved to go out to eat. So her and I became really good friends on study abroad, and like our our love language was like honestly food and sharing meals together. So we always just like went out to dinner and this and that. But I was trying to navigate paying rent in like a big city for the first time, and like paying bills for the I was doing all that in college, but like it's just a totally different thing, like with a salary and different than what I was experiencing in college. So I want to say it was like the first 2 weeks, or it was after the first week I was there, and then the next 2 weeks I was looking at my bank account. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is barren. This is dire. So I downloaded Hinge, and I was sure maybe like a little lonely, whatever. And so I downloaded Hinge, which is another dating platform, and I downloaded it for the sole purpose of men buying me dinner.
So cool.
For 2 weeks.
I did not know that.
For 2 weeks, it was every other day I went out on a date with a new gent.
No way.
And I had them buy me a meal, and I would get like the biggest fucking portion of something.
Leftovers too.
And I would just, I would be like, this is like something out of a true like I think you should leave skit with Tim Robinson.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I literally, the people would be like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, and I'm eating my food, and I'm like barely paying attention to these people. I could not give less of a fuck. They're also all like maybe not what I was kind of looking for, and I was never very good at like the small talk with like the texting before you meet.
Oh, right.
And so I just like swipe with people or match with people and be like, hey, like I'm free for dinner Wednesday. And they'd go, where do you want to go? And so I just would have them take me to all these places I wanted to try, all these new restaurants.
So fun.
And I got food not to go, but I got like my leftovers, and I did that for like 2 weeks.
That's actually
honestly,
amazing.
Almost straight. And so that's my only like online dating experience personally.
Wow, nice.
Sorry to everybody. I also ghosted them immediately after the dates.
Aw, that's okay. We've all been ghosted, and I think we've all ghosted.
I think so.
It's a tricky thing. Maybe that could be a topic another week.
Oh, ghosting. That could be a good
I
one.
have lots of stories about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we dive into this?
I think we should.
Okay. Do you mind if I start?
Please do.
I have a really good one to kick this off. Okay.
Good.
All right. The title is, well, actually, this comes from True Off My Chest, and it is 228 days old. And it is titled, I've been catfishing women on Facebook and exposing it to their husbands. Ooh, juicy.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? Okay, so...
kind of genius. Like, modern day Batman.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into it. So, it's beginning to make me sick to my stomach, but I can't bring myself to stop. Early last year, I created a fake Facebook account. The account was created in no way to take advantage of anyone or do anything malicious. I simply created it because I wanted to creep on my ex, who cheated on me a few years ago. I don't know why, but I let the curiosity get the best of me. The account I created was a fairly attractive country boy. It was her type, and I knew she'd accept it. I managed to build it up and fabricate a whole story of why it was a fresh account if she asked. Scummy, I know. I crept enough to make myself upset, so I logged out and didn't even touch the account for 8 to 9 months. Someone mentioned her in passing, and my curiosity got the best of me again. I logged onto the account, and I've gotten over 100 friend requests. I go through them, and almost none of them were bots or fake accounts. They were legitimate women that live around me. Some I even know in real life. I don't know why, but I accepted all of them. Next thing I know, I've got these women hitting me up in my inbox. I had thought only men acted out like this, and I was straight up confused. Before I go on, I want to make one thing clear. I have never initiated a conversation, sent a friend request, or baited or asked them anything inappropriate. As I'm sifting through about 12 messages and see one from a girl I know, one that I know is married. It was wrong of me, but I responded. She asked me general questions about my life, and I'm spitting out this fabricated story. Never once asked about her or trying to fully engage, but she started coming on to me hard. She says we should meet up for lunch, and I get uncomfortable and I don't respond. The next day, she messages me trying to brush it off. I say it's okay and move on with my day. I see a message come through again, and she's coming in harder. And then she sent me a lingerie picture. At this point, I'm incredibly uncomfortable. I didn't ask for that. I didn't indicate I wanted it. But I was complicit in entertaining this conversation. As I was beginning to block her, I got flashbacks to when my ex cheated on me. Her friend ended up telling me out of guilt. I realized I was feeling that same guilt. I messaged her husband. I provided screenshots of the whole conversation and then blocked them both. I don't touch the account again for weeks. On my real account, I see a not-so-vague post about him leaving her. That was all I needed to see. I felt a sense of justice, and I enjoyed it. I logged back into the account and started doing the same for any woman who messaged me and who had a boyfriend or a husband. It's been several months now. I receive frequent friend requests and messages multiple times a week. I've done it to 8 other women since. Last night, laying in bed at 3 a.m. about this and all the bad things that I've done, I really got stuck on what I've been doing. I feel an immense sense of guilt and lying about ruining relationships, but I also feel a sense of justice that I had gotten when I found out I was being cheated on. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. I know I should stop, but I feel like I'm doing some sort of good. What do you think?
Oh my god, this is hilarious. So the way that they're writing, so like country boy, it's making me feel like it's like a small community, like a small-ish. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And so he knows some of the people, doesn't know some of the other. I kind of love it. Like, I kind of love it. It honestly makes me think of like Batman, like a vigilante.
Yeah.
It's vigilante shit.
Yeah. What's the show?
Dexter.
Yeah.
That's exact. So it also makes me think of Dexter.
Yeah.
So Austin and I are watching that right now, and that is so much more like morbid and messed up in terms of like what the justice is. But the whole premise is that he kills. Spoiler alert. He kills people that have done bad things because he is a psychopath serial killer, and the idea that this person got hurt, it's kind of like that was his villain origin story.
Yeah.
Right? Or his, like, in his own way, and this is typically how villains are, right? They think that they're doing, like, something just, but what they're actually doing is, like, slightly evil. And so, I mean, I kind of love it, honestly. I think that if random people are going to message random people on the internet and they are in long-term relationships or they're married, they've got, they know better, and it's one of those things where you fuck around and you find out. And I think some of these people maybe needed that lesson in their lives. Hopefully they're all the better for it. Hopefully they're better people because of it. And the other people get a little bit of like closure as well to kind of maybe get out of some of those things. And small town behavior, so I feel like just breeds that shit, man. I feel like it just, they all need a little, they need more. They need something to like live for. They need like a little something on the side. And I don't know. I kind of am here for it. I do think what they're doing is a bit fucked up. But if it were a TV show, I'd for sure watch it. So.
It's so true. I, like, initially, like, your reaction was like, hell yeah. Like, they're getting what they deserve, totally. And a lot of the comments are like that, too. There was one comment that I do want to kind of point out. And then after reading that, it just kind of pointed out some of the, like, undertones of his message. So it says, I think this will do your mental health a significant harm. It's sort of how certain segments of our first responders get traumatized. You're seeing terrible human behavior. Eventually, it may alter how you see all women. It may hinder you from having a healthy relationship. It's also connected with a terrible personal experience for you. Once the justice factor subsides... Oh, I just lost the comment. Wait. Once the justice factor subsides, you'll be left with the ick. You did the moral thing, but it sounds like now it feels lousy. Maybe it's time to close up shop and deal with your feelings of loss and betrayal. Good luck. So I did like that comment about, like, now it's maybe time to, like, heal your own self. Like, you kind of did the whole Batman thing, but the fact that he is laying awake at 3 in the morning, maybe that is a sign from his subconscious mind that, like, it's time. Now you've done the vigilante stuff. You got it out. To heal. Yeah. So it's time to feel your emotions, because maybe he was, like, too hurt and angry to feel them before. And now the fact that he is, like, feeling that, I think that he is able to, like, close up that chapter in his life. So, but I did like that one.
Yeah, that's good. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's that typical arc. Like, if we're talking about, like, superheroes, we're talking about vigilantes, there's always going to be that point when it goes from doing something for all, like, the right reasons and, like, wanting, like, that power because, sure, yes, they're running from something or they have pain and they're trying to overcome something, but there comes a point that you continue that kind of pattern, like, to the point of this person saying it, that then it becomes, like, actually your villain arc.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I was saying. Like, in every, like, superhero or in Star Wars or whatever, these people don't start off, or even, I mean, the Bible, whatever. They don't start off bad. They start off with good intentions. They get hurt. Things get messy. And they want to kind of redeem themselves or, get revenge of some kind, or they want to... and in their minds, in a lot of ways, that first initial act, okay, maybe that is justified.
Right.
But anything more than that, you're just turning yourself into a villain.
Yeah. Right.
So, that was a good one, though.
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
Thanks. Right.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so this one... I got catfished for 6 years.
Oh.
And this is from the Catfish Reddit.
Oh.
I met the catfish on Omegle.
Oh my god.
Buddy, that wasn't the first red flag. I mean,
wait, Omegle is
Omegle is like the
a
video
chat.
We should go on that later. When's the last time you just opened up your computer and saw an old man's dick? You just saw like an unwanted
Oh my god.
private part of a man.
Why was that like a thing that like
We did in middle school.
we did that in middle school? That is the last time.
Yeah, so harmful. It was
Oh,
harmful for us
no.
to have done that.
Oh god.
But dude, I cannot believe this is okay, fine. And you know what? You would occasionally, I feel like in middle school you'd occasionally come across like another middle schooler. Like it was like a cute boy and it was kind of like, oh my god, like, you know, okay.
Yeah.
But it appears that there may be a little bit I'm just going to continue. I met the catfish on Omegle. I was a desperate and horny teenager who enjoyed the attention and validation from somebody else. I was 15 years old, and they said that they were 19 years old. Also, red flag, I think.
Were they seeing neck down? How did they not realize? Okay.
I don't know. We're going to get into it.
Keep going.
After talking for a bit, we transitioned from Omegle to texting each other's numbers. Then after texting, we moved to Skype. At some point, we started dating, in quotes. They sent me pictures of themselves. I tried reverse searching for them, and nothing ever came back except for one nude photo. The catfish explained that the photo was on the internet because of the fappening. And if anybody knows what that is...
What is that?
I'm imagining that it's like the movie The Happening, where, you know, like that scary movie where, like, there's basically just, like, this, like, dawn of... The Happening is a really hard movie to explain, but maybe like of the porn industry, like that. That's my guess. I honestly have no idea. I didn't look into this.
I don't know.
So she explained that the photo was on the internet because of the fappening. Eventually, I got on a video call with them and I got naked and was doing sexual acts for them. They never showed themselves though, but always pressured me into showing myself.
Oh, no.
In fact, one time they, in quotes, broke up with me because of the fact that I did not get naked on camera for them that time.
No.
Years later, I found out that she was lying to me about her age and that she was really much older, and that she said older than what she had told me when we first met. I recently just found out that this person was a catfish all along because I ran their photos through some kind of database, it looks like, and discovered that they were actually using someone else's photos. I don't know what to do about this now. I can't believe I let this happen to me. Now I'm afraid that there is a CP of me floating around on the internet.
That's terrifying.
Which is like a CP is...
Child.
Yeah, child stuff, because they were 15 at the time.
Oh my gosh.
And so this person was apparently much older than they said that they were. They said they were 19.
Oh, still predatory.
Still predatory, but found out that they were much. I mean, what are your initial thoughts on that?
That makes my stomach hurt just thinking about that poor child. Oh, 15 sounds so young. 15 just sounds... And this almost sounds like before the time where parents were, like, extremely cautious about the internet. I feel like when you and I were growing up, there was, like, no...
There was no regulation.
No conversation about, like, predators.
No.
Know? It was like, yeah, just... Go on there and play on webkins, and we're on Omegle, for God's sake.
We're on Omegle, oh yeah.
I mean,
we're in chat rooms. We're on Club Penguin telling people to go fuck themselves.
The amount of times I got blocked on Club
Oh, me too. We were trolling the internet.
Yeah. Like, we ran that shit for a little bit.
Yeah.
There was no internet safety. Parents didn't know. It was, everything's fine. Oh, yeah. So that sounds like it was like that time period where it was just like, go on the internet and have fun. because it keeps, the parents are thinking, like, this keeps you away from me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it keeps you quiet.
Distracted.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know what legal action you can take. I know that if you were able to find that person, like, you can definitely go after them because they are a child predator.
Right.
I'm just confused, though, because, like, Omegle, it was, like, and Skype, like, you're seeing their face, and you're 15, like, 15-year-olds think that, like, anyone over 20 is, like, 45 years old. You know what I mean? Like, they just have no concept of, like, if you're young or you're super old. You know what I mean? Not that 45 is super old, but I'm just, you know, they just think that it's, like, one or the other.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they ever saw that person's face or if it was always, like, their voice. And I don't know. Or maybe they just had good lighting. But that's so sad.
It's so sad.
Awful.
It is so sad. I'm wondering too, I mean, so if there was camera, because it said that they Skyped as well. So like maybe they meant just messaging on Omegle and like they never saw, but then that's where my thought was going. But then it does say that they Skyped.
Yeah.
So my guess is that this person was like maybe mid-20s, maybe like early 30s. I mean, you and I still, I think, look pretty young, to be honest. I don't know that we could pass for 19.
Are you kidding? Yes, we could.
I think we maybe could. I do get carded a lot.
Good.
I get carded a lot.
Nice. That's awesome.
Do you?
I don't remember the last time I bought alcohol.
Oh. Okay. Well,
No lie.
way to just tell our viewership that I'm an alcoholic.
God, no.
Way to out me like this, Sabrina. But you know, all of this is to say that that person is a disgusting creep and a predator, and they deserve jail time. And I hope that the person can find who did this. But it might have been like hard to tell.
Yeah.
But there's something to me that's just so ominous of knowing how old you are. Probably some mental health. I mean, there's always, those people are so messed up. I don't even want to get into the mind of somebody who does that to children.
It's sick.
But you gotta, I mean, they gotta know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 24, 25, however years old, and you're trying to pass as a 19-year-old. And as soon as somebody says that they're 15, like, you're into that, there's something wrong with you. There's something terribly, terribly wrong. And I just feel bad for the OP. And I just thought that was a crazy catfishing story.
So sad. And it's 6 years.
And depraved, yeah.
Wow. So 15 to 21?
Yeah.
Holy.
That went on for 6 years.
Oh my gosh. It's so sad.
Yeah. What's your next one?
Okay. So I'm gonna... Do you have a lighthearted one next, or is it a little bit... I want to end on a lighthearted one. So I'm just trying to gauge which one I should do
I have
next.
to see. Can I quick look?
Yeah, of course.
I have like a somewhat lighthearted one.
Okay. I'll read my lighthearted one.
Okay, I think I have a lighthearted one.
Okay, cool. I think this one's better anyways.
I know, that one was kind of heavy.
Yeah.
It was kind of heavy.
It was.
If we need to cut, we can.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I think it's important to talk about.
Okay, I do too.
Internet
Honestly,
safety is really important.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Good.
Okay. I feel like I've cracked the code for online dating as a female, and this comes from True Off My Chest. So I started reverse catfishing. Basically, where on my dating profile, I post less flattering / no makeup pictures. I message the guy I match with for at least a few days to suss out whether they actually were decent or not. And when I decided they met my standards, I met up with them for a quick date. I've gone on 3 dates with different men so far. It was fun seeing their eyes light up when they saw me in person for the first time. All of them eventually admitted that they think that I'm prettier than they were expecting. They were all incredibly sweet. 2 of them just didn't work out for logistical reasons, but things are going amazingly with the third. I've never had any luck when posting my most flattering pictures online. Most of the guys I talked to ended up being jerks, LOL. I don't know how well this is going to work for men, but I'd recommend it for all the ladies on the apps, haha. Isn't that kind of a cool trick?
I love that.
Yeah.
Because if you love me at my, and maybe, you know, maybe it's for a hookup, but maybe it's for love.
Mm-hmm.
if you love me at like my worst or what, like I like just put it out there. That's so like vulnerable and so real of the OP to be like I want a guy that's gonna pick me for what I look like. Maybe when my makeup isn't done,
right?
Or when he's gonna know like the real me, and I'm gonna show up being like my dressed up like 10 out of 10 version of myself.
Isn't that fun?
That's genius.
I know.
It's actually genius because you're gonna weed out all of the players, the scum, the fuck boys, the people that you wouldn't even want to deal with anyway. That I feel like if you post your really hot pictures, they only want to hook up with you.
Exactly.
And you're kind of weeding them out. You're like finding like the good, nice guys, and then you get to be more selective of the people that are interested in you.
Isn't that great?
Love that.
I know. I thought that was so genius when I saw that. I had never thought of reverse catfishing, which I think is so harmless, obviously. Like this
because it's still you.
Right. It's you at your most vulnerable self. It's almost like better, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the opposite of catfishing, essentially, which is what she's saying. She's just being completely out there, like, hey, no filter, this is me. I just love that.
I love that too.
I know.
That's so smart. I'm going to put out a formal recommendation for every female or male that listens to our podcast that is single to do that, and let us know how that works out, because I just feel like you're putting genuinity out there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna get it back. You're being genuine, you're gonna get it back.
Exactly.
And then you get to show up being like the hottest thing they could ever imagine. I mean, it just sounds like a win-win-win-win.
Sounds so fun.
It sounds so fun.
Yeah,
like you know that like you walk into that room, you are going, the eyes on you, you're gonna feel like a movie star.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
The only thing that I can relate to is like, have you ever dressed up like a gremlin for a few days, or dressed up, but like
like put on like scary makeup and like you like shave your head and dressed up.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, or like when you're going camping, you know.
Oh
like,
yeah,
makeup, and then like a few days later you finally get dressed up in like your normal clothes, and your man is like, oh my gosh, like who is this?
I love that actually.
I know.
I love that effect, especially summertime is the best, ladies. Go camping. Be decrepit, like do not put on makeup. Go to the beach, have fun. There are so many ways, like if you're like, oh, but my eyebrows, and oh, but this. There are ways around it, and if you want to know what they are, if you want to feel like you're still a 10 with no makeup and you want to be vulnerable, we've got all the tricks to do, you know. I know how to dye eyebrows. I've got all the tricks. So, but do it. Do no makeup. Look like a gremlin. Get dirty. Be gross.
Roll in the dirt. I dare you.
Yeah, roll in the dirt. But then get a good tan.
Oh,
come back. Have a really nice hot shower and plan after your camping trip that you're gonna go out to a really nice dinner.
Yeah.
It is a win because it's the best meal you've ever had. Mm-hmm. Your man will not be able to eat because he is just quite literally drooling into his food. It's going to be the best sex you've ever had. It's going to, because it's like, whoa, who is this? I've been dealing with the gremlin that ate 100 hot dogs on the fucking beach all week. What do we have here? Yeah. She's wearing a dress. It's like you just stepped out as like an identical twin. Yeah. I mean, they freak out about it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Putting on makeup for the first time in like a week.
Feels so good. So fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels good for like yourself too. You're like, oh, there she is.
Right.
A little bit. You're like, oh, there she is. That's a good feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right.
Good for that OP. That's genius.
I know, right?
Wish I would have known that trick when I had ever ventured to.
I know, me too.
I really was never on the dating apps though, truly. It just wasn't really my thing. I want to meet people organically. Yeah. I'm such a talker that I feel like somebody that I'm going to be with like has got to be able to like come up and talk to me.
Yeah.
And meet me.
And it's an energy vibe too.
It is.
And obviously it didn't work out for me, so I immediately logged off of those.
Same.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It is my turn. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is kind of it's just like a lighter catfish story. Okay. I don't know if it's as like lighthearted as that, but my sister thinks she's talking to a celebrity.
Oh.
My sister posts on TikTok daily with her main scope around female empowerment. However, she fell for a fake TikTok account pretending to be a famous musician just because he's complimenting her.
Oh.
For context, we went to the Celebrities concert in 2023 and saw him perform. I ended up connecting with the drummer of the opening act, and he was on tour with the headliner for the rest of the North America leg. The drummer said the celebrity socials are only his public verified accounts. Even after telling her this, she insists that this account is his, so she can have a more intimate. He can have a more intimate relationship with his fans. ... The real kicker is that she is working on her PhD and is a professor, so it's not a lack of intelligence on her part. Maybe it's just a lack of common sense. Anyways, she's mentioning that they communicate over Telegram, which is like a texting app.
Yeah.
Over Telegram and WhatsApp via text and not video chat. And at this point, I'm not sure how to proceed because she thinks everything makes perfect sense and that they will end up together.
Oh, poor thing.
What do you think?
Oh, poor thing. And you believe what you want so bad. If this is someone who you saw on stage and you actually think that this person's like messaging you and interested, you would want to believe and trust that with all of your heart, and anyone telling you anything else, like, it would just be so heartbreaking. And so you probably, this sister has blinders on, and they are being so wildly irrational. It's just so sad. This poor girl.
She has the answer though. Like she knows. She knows from somebody that literally has like been on tour with them for the entire tour, and the sister was like, "Hey, my sister thinks that she's talking to this guy. Do you think we could go?" I'm assuming that she said like, "Do you think that like we could go talk to him or something?" You know, she was trying to like be like, "Hey, maybe the four of us should hang out," or however that conversation started. And the drummer of that opening band was like, "Oh, no, like all of his socials are just the checkmarked ones."
That's so sad.
And the sister just like won't listen. I think it's hilarious. If my sister did, Annie, if you ever did some shit like this, you would never hear the end of it from me. I would roast you for the rest of our lives about this. I would roast a little bit, and then I'd feel just really bad, right? I think. And then I'd probably, as your older sister, go to the ends of the earth to like actually get you to like talk to the real person.
Yeah. Aww.
You know, I'd do whatever. We'd do a meet and greet. You know, you'd finally get to meet the real person.
Right.
But oh my God, I would laugh for so long.
Okay, so I have two things to say about this. The first is like, who is behind that screen preying on vulnerable people who, like, manipulating your words to say, like, "Oh no, this is because I want to get intimate with my fans." Like, so creepy. So I have an actual story for this.
Ooh.
So Anya, my younger sister, met, who's the Karate Kid guy? Blonde guy from Karate Kid? Like the evil... I've never seen it.
I forget his name, but he's like much older now. He's like our parents' age. He's like the German fighter, the Russian guy. Yeah.
And there was like a new show. I forget, on Netflix.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So Anya met him. I don't know his name. Sorry, blonde guy. Look him up. But she was super excited to see it. She's like really a huge fan. She was so excited to meet him. I don't know, there was like a crazy story where like he complimented her, where it was like, he said something that was like, either like, you are, like, your smile is amazing, or like Anya made him laugh, or there was some sort of connection where like Anya was just like, "This is so incredible, like, this is so cool to meet you," and like he recognized me for who I am. And so my mom has the picture of them. Okay, so Anya sends this to our family. Anya sends a picture of her and this guy, and just like freaking out. My mom finds him on Facebook, and if you're not watching it, I'm doing quotes. My mom finds him on Facebook. He has like 200, 300 fans, followers, whatever. And my mom's like, "Oh, great, I found him because this must
be him,
and his profile picture is a picture of him."
Oh God, where's this
This
going?
like extremely famous actor who has 300 Facebook
That has
friends.
300, yeah.
So my mom sends it to this guy, and he replies, "Where are you?"
What?
What does my mom do? Tells this random guy the exact small city we are in.
Oh my God.
She says,
yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
She fucking typed it.
Oh my God,
And
Sarah.
my mom sends this to us, and she's like, "Girls, I'm so excited. Like, what if he comes and visits us or whatever?" And we're all screaming at her at this point, screaming. I think we immediately called her, and we made fun of her for. I mean, we still do. We're like, "Well, great, Mama almost sold us to like this fucking catfish online, like essentially giving him our address." This random guy online.
Oh my God. And you know they're just like some hyper fan. Like they're just like some like, I love nerds, but like just some like huge geek, probably maybe not doing well, that they're making like celebrity fake accounts.
And asking, "Where are you?"
And asking, "Where are you?" when you send something to them. Probably not doing well in the head.
No.
And she just didn't think anything of it. She just goes, "Oh, we're in this place in Michigan.
Here's our zip code."
Right. We're actually having family dinner on Sunday. You want to come? Here's our physical address. Do you want my credit card information as well?
I said that too. I was like, "Here's my social security number."
Right. Do you also want to name my firstborn child? I mean,
I'd actually like you to be here for the birth.
right. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I know, right? So like, talk about like cyber safety. It's like we are at the age where we are teaching our parents.
We get it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And there were other catfish stories I wanted to talk about. One of them, kind of getting like into this too, is how, but so many of them were so sad.
I know.
I felt like the heaviest one I wanted to do was that up, which was really heavy, and it is an important thing for us to talk about. But a lot of people, our parents or our grandparents' age are getting like those scams about like the Nigerian princes or things like that. And I actually know people personally who have had that happen.
Oh, wow.
My good friend Marley, her mom, one of her neighbors, I won't say like what city this is in, but one of her neighbors got catfished really, really badly and thought that she was in like a 2-year-long relationship with this Nigerian prince. I'm also doing quotes. And she sent
money.
She sent an unbelievable, and this woman is like a widow and she lives alone and has a lot of money, but maybe not as much, because she sent so much money to this person, and there were probably hundreds of times they were supposed to meet up, and she was gonna fly in and meet his family, and then for one thing or another, like she would be at like an airport and things got canceled, and like truly heartbreaking stuff. And then I saw all those kinds of stories on Reddit too. But all of this is to say, we have to teach like the older generations about internet safety, because and like how to spot like a phishing scam, or how to spot like a catfish or just a scam. And it makes me think of the Tinder swindler, and it makes me think of all of these people that went on to the internet and preyed on people and got them to send these crazy amounts of money to them.
Right.
And I think that is the worst kind of, it's not just emotional at that point. You're not just, and also, I mean, the child thing was disgusting, as very disgusting. But I think going beyond just like having like a friend that you talk to and share a lot of like personal things about, I think going beyond that and violating them in some way, it's a new age of evil. And it's so scary. And we have to educate, we have to educate the elders. So if you have elders or, your grandparents or your parents in your family, like please let them know about the way that people are finding these people and preying on these people, because it's so real.
Someone in my mom's office had a call 2 years ago, and I don't know how the scammer did it, but they used AI, or they knew what her son's voice sounded like, but they had this like AI version of her son screaming for help and saying like you have to send like $5,000 over right now, or like he's gonna kill me. Like it was like screaming, and I don't know how they did that. I've never heard of this scam ever in my life.
Oh my God.
But she was beside herself. I mean, for weeks, because like you go through that trauma. You think that your
child is kidnapped.
And then he's a grown man, but like
okay.
He ended, I think like 28 or something. But still, grown men can be kidnapped too. So
right.
So she was, beside herself, and then found out that it was a scam like very soon. I think that like the people in the office were like, call him right now, like
right,
instead of like, oh, here's the money, because. And also, when things are fast, when the scammer says like you have to do it
sense
fast,
of urgency.
There's a sense of urgency, and you have
it's
no
scam.
time to think. You really don't. So yeah, just have people around you to like help you in
sounding board.
The sounding board, or if it sounds fishy, or if they're saying like it has to happen in the next like 5 minutes, like it's a scam,
or too good to be true.
Yeah.
You can't believe anything, and unless you've like met somebody yourself in person, you cannot believe any of these things. And actually, so I said that I didn't have a catfishing story, but I do have a scammer story. Maybe we can do like a sub thing of that one day too.
Yeah, definitely.
We should do like a scamming bit as well. We can talk more about this. So never mind on that. But it is really scary because they play to your emotions. And like a story like your mom's coworker or the lady that worked in the office, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. Like they play to your emotions, and they find your vulnerabilities and they attack them. And it is so frightening. It is so... It's a scary world we live in the digital age, that people can find us and reach us, and they know where we live, and they know where we went to school, and they know our aunt's name. It's the information that is out there that they can find to use against you is just sends a shiver down my spine. Yeah. It is so scary.
It really is. Jeez.
But on a lighter note, we love you guys.
We know you're never going to scam us.
Never scam us. And if you do, we will find out, because
we just will.
We have technologies, and
we have certain people that will find you.
They will find out where you live. I think they're going to find out where you live. I think
if they're not scared by now.
Oh, they're terrified now. So, no, but we love you guys, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. And we do have a couple of updates to kind of do a hard right or left, whatever you prefer. We are going to be coming out with some merch, we believe, pretty quickly here. So for the holiday season, I think we're going to be coming out with some merch. So stay tuned on that. Sabrina and I are going to talk about potentially where some of the proceeds of that can go toward, and what they can go toward. So we're working on some fun things in the background. We're working on some fun partnerships as well. So if you know of, or if your company would ever sponsor something like this, or if they would ever allow
like
affiliates, things like that, and you work in like merchandise or for a product company, anything like that, please let us know. We would love to get involved and get some brand deals.
And if you want us to promote your product, like, let us know. We can work something out. So
absolutely.
Let us know.
But we love all you guys, and we appreciate you guys for listening in so much. Please write in with what you would like us to chat about next week.
Yeah, do it. Okay, we love the listener feedback. So send us what you guys want us to chat about.
Please do. And follow us on everything. Follow us at Gives and Takes Pod on TikTok, Instagram, write us at Gmail, or you can find us. What else do we have? What am I missing?
YouTube.
You can find us at YouTube at Just Gives and Takes. Yep. So that is the only one that is different. Everything else is Gives and Takes Pod. Mm-hmm. Find us there, and take care of yourselves.
Yes. Take a bubble bath this week with lots of suds.
Lots of soap. And rub them all over your body, and then make your hair up into...
The George Washington thing? Where you go
yes.
Like this. Yeah.
The George Washington thing, but then also write some letters.
Aww.
And like this is so funny. A couple years ago, I wrote in letters. I was in the bath. I had my hair standing up, and I did like an I, and then I made like a heart, and then I did like a U,
cute.
and I sent them all to Austin. He was just like, "What the hell?"
He's like, why?
He's like, "I think she's finally lost her marbles."
Aww.
No, I think you appreciate it.
Yeah.
But just take care of yourself. Have that piece of cheesecake. Get yourself a drink. But then just know that the wheel keeps turning, babies. My babies, our babies.
Our taker tots.
Our taker tots. The world keeps turning, and it always will. It'll keep spinning, and it's not about how we fall. It's about how we get back up.
That was so good. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Fuck yeah.
And that is what grit is, and that is what we are made for, and that's how change happens. Change does not happen lightly. It is not what is easy. I'll even use a Dumbledore reference here.
Yes, please do.
Even in the darkest of times, one must be able to turn on the light. It's something to that effect. I don't know why I'm like forgetting it now. Even in the darkest of times, one must be able to turn on the light. It's something like that.
Yeah. Do we go with
Even in the darkest of times, one must always be able to turn on the light. Just look up his quotes. Okay. I'm going to use an Albus Dumbledore quote, and it is, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light."
That just gave me chills.
And so you can find that. We can find that together, whether you're a light for somebody else or you're a light for yourself. Just find those little pockets, and we'll find a way through this.
Yeah. You're the Dumbledore to my Hagrid.
I love that. You would be the one to have like all the mystical creatures like out in some hut in the hills.
It's really all I need.
You're like, I just need this Gryffindor to, or this Griffin.
Wait, I'm saying all the names now.
Yeah.
This, what's the big thing with the flies?
Buckbeak.
Yeah.
But he is like a oh my god, why am I forgetting this? Griffin something of some kind.
Yeah, he is. He is. Is he just a griffin?
He might be. Yeah. And I think that's gonna give it a wrap for us today, y'all.
And that's it.
And that's it. Everybody turn the lights off. Cut, print, check the tape, moving on.
What's that from?
Cut, print, check the tape, moving on. I think the Grinch.
I wanted to say the Grinch too.
I think it's the Grinch, or it's another. I think it is the Grinch.
It sounds like Jim Carrey.
It is Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And it is the Grinch.
Okay.
Cut, print, check the tape, moving on.
Yeah.
I
Totally.
think. Yeah. Or it's Dumb and Dumber. Anyways, we love you guys.
We love you.
Keep following us on everything, and we will see you next week.
Share us with a friend.
We love you. Bye.